Now, the Ghana Education Service has assured hundreds of junior high school leavers who had challenges with their placement that they would have their issues resolved by Friday. According to the Director General, Professor Kwesiopo Kwamankwa, who visited the Solution Center at the Black Star Square Tuesday, with the exception of students who want to change schools and residential status which they selected by themselves, others with genuine issues would be resolved. Komla Adom reports that it was generally orderly process today as heavy police deployment coordinated proceedings. I have a representative from the GES here in the studio for your questions, but first, here is Komla Adom's report.
A day after chaos broke out here at the Black Star Square, which saw at least 3 students and a parent pass out during a near stampede due to attempts to get solutions to the school placement challenges, the situation has changed markedly. Here at the Black Star Square Tuesday, officials of the Ghana Education Service, the police, the Computerized School Selection Placement Secretariat have sort of provided an escape or an alternative for the scores of parents and students who throng this place to attempt to get placements for their children. So what you see in the picture at the moment is parents and students attempting to select 2 schools out of about 80 or more schools that have been provided for them to choose from. What it is that once you choose 2 schools which have available places or slots, you make your way to the Solution Center, an official will attend to you, and then the process continues from there. I've been speaking to some of the parents who are yet to go through the process. Here's what they've been telling me.
I'm in the queues long time. I don't know even where to pass and even where to go. And there's nobody to tell us that my people be here or be there.
But the police made an announcement that you people should occupy specific sheds, so they come and call you 20, then you come 20.
I went there, there's no response. When they said the yellow side is from certain aggregate to certain aggregate. When you go there, they only mention that they said this is not the place.
But you see St. Tracy's when you 13. I'm to West Africa. You can go press motor. So I see. I just said about day. Me diamond. Lunis come the behind dime. Jaba have free fiada a Jordan and ne. The map is some so I'm finding 12 roses day and mammy.
So Margaret Samponsan says her daughter was placed at West Africa Senior High School in Accra when they live at Akwetia in the eastern region, and so they want a school around Akwetia given to her daughter so that she would be a day student there at least, rather than be a day student that was here in Accra, which is far away from where they live. I've been speaking to some of the parents who have gone through the process so far. They say assurances are not certain. They've been told that they should expect a phone call from the Secretariat by Friday to know which of the 2 schools they selected will have their ward attend.
When I went there, they said we should wait for them to identify whether they are going to give us the green or the gold. Okay. So we have to wait for them to call us. Okay. And that means in this case, we have to wait till they call us. So if they are learning, that means they are learning ahead of them.
But they didn't give you any indication when they will call you?
No. Okay,
so what was there?
And we wanted to change the school. The school that they gave here is under canopy, Eastern region, St. Thomas, which is not good for me to take my word to that place. So I intended that they should give us the second choice, which is Winneba. We went there and the house mistress said we should come for letterhead from the educational office. We went there, they said we go to sports office. We went there, they said we should come to this place. And we came here since last week. From Monday, from there to today. By the time that they finish up this thing, it's almost a time.
There is heavy police deployment here. I've counted more than 25 police officials. I spoke to Accra Region SWAT Commander of the Ghana Police Service, DSP Suleimana Sule Jr. He tells me that the police had to review their strategy together with the Ghana Education Service following the chaos that broke out yesterday.
We're all not happy to see what happened here yesterday when the numbers swelled up, and the people here actually could not even continue with the work. So we had a meeting, the regional police commander, his second in command, the regional operations officer, and then a few officers. We came around and had a meeting with them. And then so moving forward, we have to review our security arrangements, and that is exactly what we did today. The officials of the school placement and the GES also made us to understand that they have categorized the people. Not everybody here is here with the same problem. So they actually detail officers and then different decks to attend to these issues. So this morning, having put these crash barriers to control and manage the crowd around this act, just to enable the people working to be able to work, we spoke with them and then we put them in the various groupings so that if you had scored between an aggregate of 6 and 7, 8, 9, and 10, you were put under a particular shed. And then if you are here with a special case, you are also put together and then under a particular shed. Today, we didn't want anybody to form a winding queue and then stand in the sun, but to put them under the shed. And so with the arrangement we have under the Act, at each time or particular time, we go in and bring in, say, about 20 people with a particular issue, and then they sit down. After they have finished attending to them, we go in again to the stands and bring in another batch.
So hopefully the situation will be resolved by Friday. That's the assurance we're getting from the Ghana Education Service. Now the number is 0505-646330. That's 0505-646330, and it's on your screen right now. Text us. I have Cassandra Chum Amprofo here. She is the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Education Service. She's ready to take your questions and she'll help you to answer them. Cassandra, you're welcome to the show. Thank you so much for your time. So it's not been an easy week, let me say it that way. It's not started easy at all. People have been collapsing. The system is a total chaos. What is your assessment of the problems that are coming and how you've resolved them so far?
Well, thank you so much, and good evening to your viewers. When we released the placements, we indicated that we've placed 350,000 automatically, and we had about 122,000 left to do self-placement. And so school also reopened yesterday, and what happened today, yesterday, for instance, at the Independence Square, was because school has reopened and many of them also felt they had not been able to do the self-placement. And others, in fact, many of them also came there for a change of school, which was really impossible. But as I speak to you today, figures, the updated figures we have received from the placement center, we have 40,000 remaining. So if you take 40,000 out of the 122, it tells you that indeed, right from the time we release placement till now, we've had a number of people that have done or that have gone through the self-placement.
So if my math is correct, you have about 80,000 more? You have 122,000.
Yes, we have 40,000 more now.
You have 40,000 more plus the 122,000.
No, 122.
As in you've cleared the 122.
We had 122,000 to do the self-placement, yes, and we are left with 40,000 now.
So the self-placements have been done, and so you have 40,000 people more to do
the self-placement.
Isn't it the same self-placement that's creating the problems?
You know, Gifty, they are supposed to, we ask them to choose 5 schools. That's the process. So if you do not get any of the 5 chosen schools, we cannot give you a school. Okay. Previously, the system would just give you a school. And again, we had problems like this. I did not choose. But now, if you don't get any of the schools, we leave you like that. And we ask you to do the self-placement. The self-placement model is available for students who have not been placed. And so after the automatic placements, we also mount or host schools with vacancies online on the model. So when you go, you have to check, go through the list, and choose the one that you want and self-place yourself into it. And so once you do the self-placement, automatically your name adds onto the school list, and then you go there and then you begin, you get enrolled or you begin the admission process. And so yesterday we had a number of them coming that way, and many of them said when they go to the internet cafe, they are not really getting any help. So today, what we have done is that we have even made the schools with vacancies available at vantage points at the Independence Square. So when you go, you even have the chance to go through the list so that when you go back to the cafe, you have that opportunity to go straight and then select.
We've been told that the problem is coming from the self-placement and that you've experienced some hacking, system hacks when it comes to the self-placement. And so if you say what happened at the Infantipim, for example, where people went there, they had their prospectus, they went to buy their items, they go back and the school says, we cannot take you. Apparently, those people self-placed or did the self-placement and put themselves at Infantipim, even though Infantipim is not part of the schools that you could do a self-placement. What really is happening around that?
You know, Gifty, we had a slight challenge with the self-placement model, and that's the reason why on the 12th of September, that's Thursday, I issued a press statement that all those who did self-placement between 9th and 11th were to go back to do the self-placement alone again. You know, I indicated earlier that when you self-place yourself into a school, automatically your name should appear or add on to the school list. All those who went there realized that their names had not even been affected in the school. It means that there was something wrong. And on Wednesday, we shut the system down, and then Thursday, we brought it back. And so we asked them to do it again. In fact, it was an unfortunate incident, and that's how come we also apologize sincerely to them for that. It wasn't really our fault. But for the integrity of the system, we
Who hacked into the system? Do you know?
I cannot tell honestly. For now, I'm not a technical person.
Okay.
But the technical guys also told us that there was a kind of breach on our system, and so they had to pull not the entire system, but the self-placement model.
That made it easy for people to place themselves in schools that were not on the...
It opened up schools that were not supposed to even be on the self-placement model, and then it allowed the schools to also exceed their threshold. And so the Infantipim and the other places that you were talking about, in fact, they couldn't have even gotten space for them because they had exceeded the number that they submitted, the vacancies that they submitted to us. So we had to rectify it by shutting down and letting them do it again.
Okay, so for those who went to Infantipim, went there with their prospectus, bought everything, how is the GES solving that problem? Not just Infantipim, other schools that have people coming in and saying, I placed myself here, they have the evidence that I've been placed here. How about that?
And again, I would say that we apologize for that inconvenience. But, you know, the schools have a standard prospectus, and now it is free SHS. And so not many of the things, they are not going to buy a lot of things. So with the few things, like, for example, if you want to buy a bucket, a mattress, broom, and that stuff meant for boarding house, these items are accepted in all other schools, right? And so those who, had that situation, they had to go and do the self-placement. And wherever they self-place themselves into, if it is a boarding school, the things that they have even purchased will still be used. Because for uniforms, for feeding, everything has been borne by government. And so the few things that you bought or the parents bought can be used in the other schools that they will get now. But we can't also allow them to be there because where would the space be? They have exceeded the number that they needed.
I see.
Yeah.
So this morning, my colleague Enimado was on radio talking about what she had seen when she went on the ground. That the people are coming to work. Look at the thousands of people there who have been there for sleeping, spending the night there at the Black Star Square, and then your staff come in at 9 o'clock. I mean, in a private company, you decide perhaps because of the problem at hand, let's go in at even 5 a.m. But, you know, they're working the normal hours, even though we're not in normal time. They come at 9 a.m., they're closing at 1.
Gifty, I'm surprised. If you would permit me, I'll share some pictures with you that my team members shared with as early as 6 a.m.
They were there at 6 a.m.?
Yes, on a platform that we are all on, the communicators, on with the minister, that they shared. The team, they were there. Even one of them, Kwesi Obinfusu, the deputy PR at the ministry, was even part of the guys that arranged the white plastic chairs on the Independence Square. So we were there. Just that we needed to, you know, we have moved. Yesterday and last week we were on the first floor of the Ark. We have moved for space, and because of the numbers that were trooping, we had to move to the ground floor. And then we have also, under one of the sheds, we also have a space there for certain grades. We broke them into 2, 6 to 15, and then we have 15 upwards and all of that. So they were really setting up the place because we're no more going to use the first floor. So I'm sure probably Enimwa got there when they were setting up the place, and not that we were not there. I can share it with you.
Well, she said that you came in at 9, and then even after that, even despite that, there are some family members who had, you know, organized themselves, given themselves numbers, etc. And they had this. There was a situation where people, police officers or security agencies, officers or dressed in that way, had come and they were being served. Whilst those who came in, those who had been sleeping in the night, through the night there, were left unattended to.
I'm surprised, and it's hard for me to. I wouldn't say that probably anymore.
Maybe you haven't seen, because
yes.
they saw.
I do not know the exact location that she was, because for me, the pictures that my colleague shared with me. In fact, he said, "Charlie, we have to do something and clear the numbers today. So we have started arranging the chairs. Where are you? Please come." And so we all told him that we were on our way and then we'll be there, even at 6. And so for the night, I'm surprised because I was even in the office by 7:30 and I went to the Independence Square.
Let me give the platform to our viewers and let them bring the questions to you. This one says, please, my son didn't do fancy, but they added it to his total score and gave him a day school that I don't like because I am in Accra.
All right, Gifty, I keep explaining that the system is such that if you did not choose a school, you will not be placed in that school.
Okay.
For that one, I am so sure about it, because what you give to us is what we also bring
garbage
out.
in, garbage out.
And so it could be that probably if it is a school, for instance, if it could be a change of code, you know, the computer knows the code, and so if you are putting in day school or probably St. Louis and then the code changes, it means that it's going to turn into a different school. But for us giving you day, it is not possible. I'm sure probably the person did self-placement and found herself or himself in a day school. You know, on the self-placement, Gifty, you have to, the first thing that you choose is your residential preference. They ask you whether you want to be a boarder or a day student. When you click boarding, it pulls out all schools with boarding vacancies for you, and then you choose. So if by mistake you go, and even with that, even if it's a mistake and you choose a day school, before you click on submit or confirm, it tells you what you have done so far. The school you chose, the program, the district, the region, everything comes. You have that display before you click on the confirm or submit to place yourself into school. So you have that opportunity to go through. This morning I was telling your sister station Adam that what we realized, that's the reason why we have even made the schools available, that we realize that some of the cafe attendants, when they go there, they don't even give them the opportunity to go through the school. Of course, they also think that they can get money at this point in time. So the numbers that get to their cafe, they just look at it. You want to do self-placement, they look through and then they choose a school for you, they clear you, another person comes. And so they don't even get the opportunity to go through the school. So now we've made it available. So you have the chance to look and identify the school that you want before you go and do the self-placement.
Did you have the same magnitude of problem with the system last year? I mean, we had some problems, but this year is just massive. What is accounting for this?
It is the changes of school that they want. And
is it not a change in the software? Because we understand that the software has been changed. We also understand that the staff that was working at the secretariat were all removed, and it was left with only one, apart from the secretary, that all of the people have been removed.
Really?
Yes,
no,
you haven't
staff,
heard that?
No, the CSSPA secretariat, the staff,
yes,
they are still there. Well, I know
some
that
changes have happened.
No. So far as I'm concerned, probably if it happened before I came into the system, then but for me, the people I came to meet are still there.
We also told that you had to change the software. Was that necessary?
Well, you know, we as Ghana Education Service, we are an implementing agency, and we need to tell the ministry what we need. We will need to help improve our work, and so that was the sole responsibility of the ministry. But again, Gifty, change of software or not change of software. I mean, we started CSSPS in 2005. The software.
That's why people are surprised.
No, the software hasn't been the same. I mean, not every year, but I mean, on timely basis, I know that it's been changed.
That's what I'm trying to find out, why we had to change it. Because if it worked for us last year, why would we want to change it this year? Was there a specific problem we were trying to solve by changing the software?
Well, I cannot tell you exactly when that software, but what I would tell you is that we change or you buy new things because you would want to improve, right?
Well, the improvement looks like looks like we took one step forward and then we're taking 5 steps backward. What you say?
I tell you that apart from the self-placement model that we had an issue, a slight issue on the system, the entire system had worked perfectly.
But people are collapsing. Well, we have not seen that. We didn't see that last year.
I was telling you
that's the problem, because there's so many. Look, this is a Black Star Square. It's huge, but you still have people collapsing. That means something is definitely wrong. And I mean, this shouldn't happen.
You know, that's the reason why we have also moved from the first floor, because they were all climbing up and the heat. Yesterday, getting even access up myself was, I mean, I found it difficult at a point. I even had to suffer some, but I came back and then to deal with the people there. But basically, what I want to assure our parents and then the students is that we have enough vacancies for them. The 721 senior high schools declared over 520,000 vacancies.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's vacancy for everyone. So between now and Friday, the ministry says, the education service says, the problems will be resolved. So between now and Friday, we shouldn't have the crowd at the independent.
Yes, we are really working hard at it. That by Friday we would have cleared many of them, and we would have probably pocketed the gold track students maybe coming to solve 1 or 2 issues. But we are solving genuine issues, like people claiming they have been put in, not even claiming, genuinely they have been put in female schools, put in female schools. That's not our fault. Probably it's the code that changed.
But for those who want to change their schools, you will not attend to them.
No, if you chose the school, it cannot be changed.
Okay.
You were given the opportunity to choose 5 schools of your convenience. So if you don't get your first choice, you may get your second, your third, your fourth, your fifth. If you don't get any of them, you do a self-placement. So if you fall within the schools that you chose, it cannot be changed.
It cannot be changed.
Yes.
So for those that have genuine problems, you know, like she's saying, you're a male, you've been placed in a female school, you know, genuine problems. But if you found a school and you feel like, well, I don't like this school, I want to change it, the GAES says you're not part of the problems they're solving at the moment. In fact, you're not priority. I have a lot of questions, 100 questions, hundreds of questions, but unfortunately, I'm being told to wrap up because I've run out of time. But this person is asking when GAES will post 2019 teachers returning from study leave. Just a quick one on that.
That will be done soon.
That will be done soon. Yeah. Because if you're talking about, you know, so many students, you need teachers to teach them. And they're saying, the teachers are saying that they're returning from leave. They don't know whether they're going to be posted.
No, they're even working on it.
They're working on it already. Okay, so if you're the person who sent that question, they're working on it already. Maybe in the course of the week, we might still have Cassandra, you know, give us a bit of a time from the Black Star Square so we can still take some of your questions. If you didn't get an answer to it, I'm sorry about that. We've run out of time, but we will certainly be looking more into it. Cassandra, thank you so much for coming. And please let our parents who are sleeping at the Black Star Square go home. They don't deserve this at all.
I'm sure they have won by now.
I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Cassandra Chimamfofo is the Public Relations Officer for the Ghana Education Service.